quick video. I'm like detoxing right now. So I've been eating today. Just let my body flush out. And excuse me if my voice is low. I'm kind of in an area where I don't want to be loud. But I made a video about curse breakers before, and I wanted to make a part 2 of that. I was talking about how there's like one person in the family who's, well, I believe God appoints people in certain families to kind of carry the torch and kind of like breed a new life to a family, and try to, that kind of like, is that guy for the family, like who God is appointed to bless the rest of the family. And I think we kind of call that like a curse breaker, or like just in general we kind of talk about breaking general I can't say the word, breaking curses that have been passed down each generation. And I think it's important to note what really is the curse. And a lot of people think of like curse breakers or being a generational like one or person has to do with money, or has to do with accumulation of material items, buying a house, or moving your family to this place or that place. I think those are very noble. If we look at back to the colonial times, or to like the hunter and gatherer times, like a home was a big thing. Having a roof over your head, being a man and building a roof for your family is like one of the most noble things you could do, because you're living in the elements. And it's like it's more of like a dog eat dog. It's literally a dog eat dog world. Like, you're living in the brush, you're hunter and gathering, you're using spears, you're using kind of different kinds of man-made weapons. So it is more anarchy. So having a home and a shelter was like big, protect you from night and day, the elements. So I say all that to say, like, I feel like that's kind of where it's been passed down, but at the end of the day, like, we look at it now, it's like, I bought my mom a house, I bought my mom a car, that's great. But those are material items, and those material items now are like super inflated. It's super inflated on how it inflates the ego. Super inflated on how you have to pay for it, and it accumulates. You don't gain value in it. But if we go deeper, in my thought process is like, to really break the curse of the family, and to really raise the family up, is to break down the mental confines that have been laid down each generation. It's not, I really don't think it's money. I really don't think it's having a certain amount of I can't even think about stuff just like material items pops up first. I think material items are kind of like gifts, but it's not the real purpose of the word. In order to accumulate money, you have to first envision it and have it, have that mindset, that abundance mindset. So I think you don't get to the material without rebuilding the brain, breaking down the mind. You know what I mean? And I just think there's too much like on the material. Um, People think that if I make this certain amount of money and get my family to this certain place, that that's the goal. But a lot of people overlook, their mental health, their physical health, in pursuit of money. And I think that's the downfall of society, and I think that's the downfall of relationships today. Because we see it every day. You can have a lot of money and be the richest person, but you can still be an asshole and still be emotionally not intelligent, and that can lead into narcissism. That can lead into a lot of different other ailments of the mind. And I just think like breaking the curse is really breaking the mind. The world has changed over the years, so it's just like, there's different kind of codes that have been laid down, in certain families, like not wearing, like, I'll give you an example, like, I wasn't allowed to wear a hat in the house. Like, those little, like, sayings and fables and telltales, they get passed down, and a lot of them might not be true, or they might not serve a purpose now. And it's those kind of things that have been put in the mind of your parents, by their parents, by their parents. And a lot of those, most of the time, a lot of those way of thoughts aren't, they don't serve anymore. And when you have a limiting belief that doesn't match kind of the time of the day and you as a person, it's a limiting belief. And we go on and we go on and we go on with life, and we continue to hold on to these limiting beliefs. And a limiting belief does nothing but kill the development, the growth of any human being and a new species. And that's kind of what we see even in America. Like, we repeat the same history because we still are perpetuating, and we're still revolving around the same software, the same program of living in America. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's that same revolving door that we keep walking through and not really changing the baseline, structure of the program. And that's kind of what I've had to go through, that God has put me through, whether I want to or not. Been in a lot of injuries, and like, I won't even speak specifically. It's just like, I've been through a lot of stuff in life that has put fire on the things that I need to let go. And that process of purification through fire is like what a lot of people kind of don't like, what any human doesn't like. Like, nobody likes shedding the feathers. You know what I mean? Nobody likes to. It's hard to let go and to build a new mindset. Like, it's really hard. Because you grow up clinging to these things that you think you need to live. And to let go of that is essentially letting go a lot of the ego. And it's just tough. It's just tough. But I say all that to say, like, you don't reach the pinnacle of what God has laid in, for you to achieve without, letting go of old programming that doesn't serve you and rebuilding your mindset to what does serve you and to what does directly what's the word? Like, I don't want to say attract, but like directly reflects who you are as a person and what you want to grow to be. You know, I can't be the best NFL player in the world if I'm holding on to belief that I can't do it. You know, that somebody has told me that I can't do it. And that's been a lot of my journey. You know, it's like I have dreams of being in the NFL, but like I've had injuries, you know, but I still go for that goal because I'm learning a lot of stuff about myself. I'm learning a lot of stuff that mentally that I cling to that wasn't real to begin with, you know, that wasn't from my own mind. And just like the beliefs aren't aligning with where I want to go in life. And whether or not I have to change the destination, you know, the ultimate end, you know, because of reality, me staying on that path is helping me to shed a lot of thoughts and mental formations that weren't even from my own brain, you know, and that is breaking the curse. It's not getting the money, it's not moving your family, it's bettering your mindset. And when I say bettering, I mean it's like opening your mind to different avenues. And because you can't lead, you can't properly lead with a mind that is not clear, that is not centered around God, and that is just destructive to you and anybody you're trying to bless. You know, you have to purify yourself. So I'm not really sure if I got out everything I wanted to say on this topic, but I think it's just important. Like, material, you know, money burns. So at the end of the day, it's the relationship. You know, it's how you connect to people, and it's how you uplift people in a mentally and emotional point. You know what I mean? Like, you can move your family into a new house, but if they're miserable mentally and they have extreme limiting beliefs, all they're going to do is rot in the house or conjure up different types of spirits in the house. Like, you can't run away from the self. And the self is, like, I feel like we were put here to, if we're talking spiritual, we were put here a test from God to attain for our spirit, you know, and to do what he wants us to do. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with clothing. It has nothing, I mean, God likes us to have the fruits of our labor, of course, but we don't die with it, you know. So I think the connection with self and family is breaking the curse. It's breaking the family curse, you know, or however you want to say it, generational curse. Because, like I said, I can say it over and over again. Money burns, and at the end of the day, we all die. So anything that's left on this earth, you know, material-wise, it's kind of bull. But it's the connections, the soul connections live forever. Soul connections live forever. So I do think we're cursed here to live here, but we're not cursed to share love with each other in the depths of our mind. I love y'all, man. Peace.